We are from the American School of Santo Domingo, and we come from the Dominican Republic. There is a project Save the Earth. So, I need you to make a guess. You might think that water is the most abundant resource in the world, but I need you to draw a pie chart with a percentage of water in oceans, glaciers, underground, rivers, ponds, and lakes, and upper drinkable water safe for human use. Actually, the water in the world is actually the most limited. Okay, so I want you to imagine that all the water here is all the water in the world. So, this here is all the water that is in the oceans that we cannot drink because it's salt water. And this is all the fresh water that's left right now. And now this is all the fresh water that is trapped in glaciers, so we cannot drink them. This here is now all the unfrozen fresh water. And now, this is all the underground water that we do not have access to, that is fresh. And this here is now all the water that's left in the world that is fresh, that is in rivers, lakes, and ponds, and the underground water that we have access to. And from all this water here, only one drop is safe for human use that we can drink. I want you to compare now this pie chart with the one that you drew earlier, and try to see the difference. The blue here is 97% of all the water in the world that is in the oceans. The green here are the glaciers. The orange one is the underground water, and the red are the rivers, lakes, and ponds. So, the drinkable water that is safe for human use that we can use is, it's barely visible here, but it's actually 0.00003% of the water that we can use. So, and all that's left is polluted. Okay. So now you can see how big is our problem with the pollution in water.
Pollution is a great problem, especially in the city of Santo Domingo. Rio Isabela is one of the two major rivers in Santo Domingo, and it is part of our school's neighborhood. Unfortunately, it is full of lilies, and this is a major problem called eutrophication. Eutrophication is the process by which water is contaminated by an excessive amount of phosphates and nitrates. This promotes the growth of lilies in rivers, causing a depletion of oxygen and the death of animal life. Now, we will be testing a water sample from Rio Isabela and comparing it to regular tap water. We will be measuring the level of phosphate and nitrates in the water. These are the results. This is the level of phosphates in a regular tap water, and this is the level of phosphate in Rio Isabela. Here you can see the difference. And this is the level of nitrate in our regular tap water, and this is the level of nitrate in Rio Isabela. Here you can see the trash being deposited in the river by those living in communities around the river, mostly because of the Duquesa landfill. The Duquesa landfill is the landfill of Santo Domingo, and it receives 5,000 tons of garbage every day. Another very important factor is that the fact that only 27% of Santo Domingo's population has access to adequate sewage system. The rest of the city, raw sewage is deposited untreated in our rivers.
So the problem with water pollution was
to younger students about the problem with water pollution. We told them not to throw trash in the river and what they can do to help. Then we explained to them we further explained to them the statistics of the amount of water that we have here on Earth and what they should and should not do with it. We give them lots of tips and things to do. Then, after speaking to the teachers and the students there, teachers told the kids to start their own campaign in their neighborhood, and just encourage people around them not to waste the water and to use it positively and not just throw it away or because they think a little thing in it to throw it away. And so, also to show them how important this was, we took a microscope and we let them see through it the magnified view of polluted water in the river and normal drinkable water. That way they don't just drink whatever water they have and not just throw away what they feel like.
This river is highly contaminated with bacteria that causes cholera and other dangerous diseases. In the year 2014, President Danilo Medina passed a law called 269/14 that stated that every person living in the Dominican Republic without the proper documentation, papers, or living illegally, as I explained, had to immediately leave the country. This caused 4,000 Haitians to leave the country and live in an impromptu refugee around the town of San Pedro. These people didn't have the proper knowledge of sanitary education, so they did the necessities near the river, they drank the water, they drank the dirty water without purifying it, and this caused a cholera outbreak and many people died. This also affected the community of Pedernales that was on the other side of the river, the border, because they also drank the water and they also had cholera. This caused many children to die. So the foundation called Caritas Hispana donated a water purifying machine to a church in Pedernales. This water purifying machine was for both the people of Azapitre and the people of Pedernales. Since the priest in that church gave the water away to the refugees around the community of Azapitre, the town of Azapitre, the machine was broke because they overworked it, since it was being used a lot. So now the people can't afford to buy another machine, and people are being even more affected since they're all dying.
To solve this problem, we visited the Pedernales community to promote 5 hygiene habits that of water users. We designed flyers in Spanish and Creole talking about 5 habits about water uses and translated them both in Spanish and Creole. Printed 500 flyers and handed them out to the Pedernales community. These. The first one is wash your hands before eating and after going to the bathroom, and to not defecate near the river or other water sources, and not drink water of the river or any other water supply without being treated, boil the water before using it, and the last one is save purified water in clean bottles. We have also decided to raise funds for the purifying machine, which is only at 20% of its capacity, because for Dominicans and Haitians living in Pedernales and Azapitre, yo lo estoy diciendo bien, in Pedernales and Azapitre without enough affordable drinking water, in order to raise funds in order to raise these funds, we decided to create another campaign named Imperfect is a campaign with 2 very clear objectives. The first objective is to spread the message of self-esteem and self-acceptance in teenagers. We believe that we, as members of our community, obsess over trying to have the perfect hair, perfect body, and perfect face, wasting most of our energy in this useless endeavor, since nobody can actually be perfect. However, our communities are far from being acceptable due to the
due to the social problems such as pollution, poverty, and violence. We are asking other teams to accept themselves as they are and take that time, energy, and passion to make a change in their communities. Our second objective is to sell products and organize events to raise money for sensitive products, such as buying the filters for the water purifier machine. We have been meeting with different directors from schools in Santo Domingo and asking them to expand the Imperfect campaign so that they sell our products in their schools to raise their own money for their community service program. Our art is inspired by Pablo Picasso, who dared to break the status quo and made imperfect phrases. We made our own designs for the Perfect campaign inspired by his art. Our products are these shirts designed by us with the Pablo Picasso art. This mug that says the world doesn't need us to be perfect, it needs us, with a perfect logo on it.